Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Terry Henney with WSGW, and we are talking beans. Along with me is Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission. And Joe, we didn't get the memo. We don't have our Santa Claus hat on.
We don't.
No, we don't have that ugly red sweater or nothing on.
I'm still trying to gain some weight to move into it, and I'm doing good, but it won't fit yet. So a couple more days.
Well, I tell you what, I think we got the perfect person to get us in the holiday season, Joe. Who have we got today?
That's a fact. Sherry's back with us today, Terry, and she's as we go into the holiday season, and of course the football season, where we've got, I think, every Michigan college team in a bowl game someplace. Sherry's going to give us some great ideas for having people over or taking a dish to pass wherever you're headed this holiday season. So, Sherry, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me this morning. At least I did wear my red sweater, you guys. You may
Thank
not
you.
have your Santa hats on, but I did.
Yeah, you did. And I'll tell you, you are festive all over the place. I'm real curious about the greens over there. I'm assuming they're not edible.
Right here, my fake greens. Yes, we'll talk about that. Michigan beans are so versatile, you know. I even use them in my decor. So we'll talk about that as we go on. But I'm excited to be with you today. What I've done today is I've taken a couple of traditional holiday recipes and I'm including Michigan beans in them.
Nice. I can't wait.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and so, you know, these can be the holidays, again, a little bit different this year. You might be celebrating with just a few people, close family. You might be having, you know, some neighbors over perhaps. But I think these recipes are going to go well with any celebration that you do. And Joe, you mentioned, you know, bowl season coming up and all the football games. And these recipes are even going to work for that as well.
Awesome.
And the one I'm going to get started with is the traditional spinach dip. And who doesn't love a good spinach dip, right?
There you go.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes. And so I'm making it a little bit healthier, as I usually do as a dietitian, but also we also know whenever we add Michigan beans to any recipe, we're really adding in that nutrition because of their fiber, their plant-based protein, just the texture they have. They just add so much to a dish. And they're so versatile. You can use them in so many things. So you may not have ever thought about putting them in a spinach dip, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to start here. I brought my little electric burner up here so I could not have my back towards you at my stovetop. What we're going to do is we're going to start with about a half a cup of low-fat milk. And I'm going to put that right into my pot here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, I've got about 6 ounces of low-fat cream cheese. This is a little bit softened here, and we're going to add that to the milk because we want that to melt down. So that's going to go into our pot, and we're going to start mixing that. Now, while that is starting to melt there, I do want to tell you I did a step ahead of time to save us some time. And what I did is I took a small onion and I diced it, and I added just a little bit, half a teaspoon or so of minced up garlic, and then 2 packages of the frozen chopped spinach that you can get. There's no sauce on this spinach. It's just plain old good chopped spinach. But you want to thaw that out and drain it. If anybody's ever cooked with that, you know there's a lot of moisture in there, a lot of water you want to drain out. So what I have in this bowl then is 2 packages of that spinach, the onion that's diced up, the little bit of garlic, and I cook that together. So the onion is sauteed. It's just browned lightly, okay? So you can think about the nutrition. Now you're saying, but Sherry, you haven't talked about the Michigan beans yet. I'll tell you how those go in here in just a second. So we're going to keep mixing this up. It's just going to take a couple of minutes.
Now that's the milk and the
cream cheese.
This is the milk. Yep, just the milk and that 6 ounces of the low-fat cream cheese that I've got in here right now. And just stirring that up. I'm going to switch spoons here so I can get a little bit better grip on this. And I want to remind everybody too, if you're thinking of the holidays coming up, obviously, gosh, they're not that far away, right? I keep thinking they're further away than they are. If you're looking for some last minute gifts, I believe it was last year, we showed you how to make those delicious bean soup kits with the Michigan dried beans and the seasoning in the glass jars. And if you go to michiganbean.com, you can find that recipe and some other recipes on there. But I'm not showing that today because we did it last year, but it's such an easy gift. I gave several of those last year, and I know my neighbors were quite happy with me.
We got a
And
few compliments on that one, Sherry.
Pardon?
So we got a few compliments on that one.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did. And it just looks nice too. You know, it's really nice. Okay, I can see now the cream cheese is starting to melt right into the milk. It's getting nice and creamy. So what we're going to do now is here comes the Michigan beans. So I have taken a cup of Michigan white beans. You can use white kidney beans, Great Northern beans, whatever white beans you want. And I've pureed them. So I simply put them in my little mini food processor, pureed them till they were smooth. I didn't add anything to them at all. A little bit of the bean liquid was in there, not that much. And we're going to put that right in with our cream cheese and our spinach. You could add this later when it's mixed up. It doesn't really matter when you add it. I want to add it right in here so it gets nice and warm. And then we're going to add that spinach mixture to that.
Sherry, do you care which white bean it is? I mean, it could be a navy bean, a Great Northern, a cannellini, whatever's on the shelf,
Certainly.
right?
It could be any bean, you know, any bean that you like at all. Any of your favorite beans. Not a problem.
And how big was the bean serving that you're
About
mixing?
a cup of beans.
Cup.
1 cup.
Okay.
Yeah, about 1 cup of, you know, of cooked beans, of course. And so we're going to stir that up. I'm trying to see if you can see it's getting nice and creamy. Now to that, we are going to add 3/4 cup of a part skim shredded mozzarella cheese.
Wow. All right.
So that's going in next. Obviously that cheese is going to melt. And oh, this is looking really good. I think I know what I'm going to be having for lunch. Just a bunch of dip.
I think Joe and I will be there. Give us a couple hours to get there, okay?
So I want you to think about this, you know, have the viewers think about this. The traditional spinach dip, again, high in, you know, whether it's sour cream or mayonnaise and a lot of fat. Yes, there's some spinach in there. But what we've done here, we've got the low-fat milk, the low-fat cream cheese, the part skim mozzarella cheese, all that spinach, and the Michigan beans. So think about, we've just kind of tweaked this recipe and moved it over to the more nutritious side, right?
Yeah.
Which is what we're all trying to do. We don't want to give up taste. We don't want to give up flavor. We don't need to do that. Eating healthy does not mean you have to give up taste and flavor. But what we've done here is just made it a little bit healthier. And I'm going to go ahead. This looks delicious. Can you see how nice and thick it is, like a spinach dip?
That is really good looking.
We're going to go ahead and put some of that into a serving dish here.
Clearly.
How hot do you have your burner set?
I've got that on about medium. You can turn it down after the cheese all melts in. I mean, that cheese melted pretty quickly there. So look how good. This dip looks amazing. You could garnish it with a little more cheese if you want. I've got a little plate of crackers here to serve it with. You could take a whole grain baguette that you pick up at your grocery store, slice it into thin pieces, toast it or not toast it, and serve it with that. But that is going to be wonderful. And like you said, Joe, this would be great for the holidays and entertaining, or perfect for those football games we have coming up in the new year.
Particularly the Spartan game in this case.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll need more than that bowl, Joe.
Yes.
Add a little salt and pepper to taste if you want. You know, make sure it's tasting okay. But that is done. Very easy.
Look how quick that was.
Yes, very quick and easy. I mean, the one step of just sauteing the onion ahead of time, that doesn't take much time at all.
No.
And this is plain and simple spinach dip with Michigan beans.
Yeah, we'll call it our Michigan bean spinach dip.
There you go.
There we go. Now,
Okay,
spinach isn't bad for you either.
No. Yeah.
I mean, Popeye, that's all he got his strength from was spinach. So
That's correct. That is correct. Yeah.
Where are we going next, Sherry?
Between the Michigan beans and the spinach, you're going to be all set there with health. So the next recipe we're doing is the traditional bean casserole, right? The green bean casserole we all think about and love.
Sure.
We love it on Thanksgiving. We love it on Christmas. But I'm going to tweak it a little with Michigan beans, of course.
Wow.
And so I've kind of started this already. And I'm just going to show you how to mix this all together because I've got one in the oven because we didn't have time to cook it live. But what I've done here is I've got an onion that's chopped up. I've got a cup of sliced mushrooms. And I have sauteed both of those in some butter. Okay, yes, there's a little butter in here, but that's okay. Sauteed the onions and mushroom and a little bit of garlic, I should say too, in butter. So those are going to cook down until they are soft. We want those to be soft. Then
Now,
we're
do you
going to
strain,
add
Jerry,
2
do you
cups of
strain
green
strain the
beans.
mushrooms?
Pardon?
Do you strain the mushrooms?
The mushrooms are fresh.
Oh.
So they're fresh mushrooms that I've added with the raw onion to that butter to cook them. Yes, Terry.
Wow.
So let me get another little spoon out here. And so again, I've got the onions, the mushroom, a little garlic that have sauteed. I'm going to add 2 cups of cooked green beans to that. So you want to cook your green beans first. I'm going to add those. We're used to putting the green beans in the green bean casserole, of course. But here's what we have. I have some cannellini beans here, some white kidney beans that we're going to add here. And I've got about 1.5 cups of those. You know what? Add more if you want it because it's Michigan beans and we love them. They're
You
great.
never have too many.
Yeah, can't have too few of those. We're going to mix that in. And then I've taken a lower fat cream of mushroom soup. So you can take about a can of that. We're going to add that to that mixture. And then I'm going to add a little bit of chicken broth. I've just got about 1/4 cup of chicken broth that I'm going to add to that for a little bit of liquid. And this is going to get all mixed up. Again, pretend I'm on the stove, right? Stovetop with this. This is going to get nice and hot. And then we're going to put that into a casserole dish. You know what I forgot to tell you though? Remember the French fried onions we like?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Let's add about 1/2 cup of those to that mixture. Stir those in. Then this is going to go into a casserole dish. I'm going to top it with another cup of those French fried onions and a little bit of reduced fat shredded cheddar cheese. So let me go into my oven. Let me set this aside here because I think the one in the oven is about done. Oh yes, it's bubbly. It's bubbly and it looks delicious. So here we've got that casserole all done. And you can see, let me hold it up for you. Can you see the nice cheese is melted on the top? It's bubbly.
Yeah.
You know, I tried some of this yesterday when I was just mixing up the base. And that addition of the Michigan beans makes it, the texture makes it so good. Like it's a little bit more hearty. You could actually eat this as a meal in itself.
Right. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it is absolutely delicious. And you know, you could serve this up with whatever you're going to have. Oh yeah.
That almost sounded crunchy.
It did because the crispy onions on the top.
Sure.
Yeah, my mic must be working good if you can hear the crunch over there. That's good.
Oh, we could hear it loud and clear.
Yes, but
I
it's
can't
just
smell it, but I'm close.
Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could taste it. But it's just really nice. It's thick. It's holding together. Again, you've got the green beans. You've got the Michigan beans in there. Our other traditional ingredients that go into a green bean casserole. But I like it. It's just a little bit different. And
again,
a little bit healthier.
Pretty quick to prepare, wasn't it?
It really was quick to prepare. And the recipe as we have it too doesn't make a huge batch. So if you're having a lot of people over, I would recommend doubling the batch. If you want a really big
how long is it in the oven?
Yeah, in the oven about a half hour.
Okay.
Yeah, about a half hour on 350. Again, you'll see it start to bubble up. You'll see those onions and the cheese starting to just get golden brown. Then you know it's done. This recipe makes about 1.5 quart little casserole dish, so it's a little bit smaller. So for your traditional larger casserole dishes, I would double the recipe. And then I showed you guys earlier a little bit one of my decorations I made. Love And I have to tell you, I walked into a store near me and I saw this. They had it over the fall season. I thought, oh my gosh. The lady in the store was laughing at me because I was so excited about the glass vase they had that was filled with dry beans. And she had some artificial greens in it. So I thought, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And she wondered why I was so happy. And I said, because I work with Michigan beans. And she's like, oh, okay.
It looks
but you
great.
can see here, yeah. I just took a glass vase and I filled it with some Michigan beans here. You could take a combination of beans and different color beans or different layer of beans. And just add them to a vase, and they hold artificial greens so well. I've got some artificial evergreens here. I stuck a little gold star in the middle just because I had it and it looked cute in there. But I think that's a really fun way to decorate too. And people are very much into kind of natural decorating. It doesn't have to cost a lot to do something like that. You could even put in little votives. You can put little Michigan beans in the bottom of clear glass votive candle holders and put a candle in them for the holidays. I think it's just really fun. Or it's a good craft for the kids as well.
We saw some black beans in a jewelry store case, covering the bottom of the case, and they had all the sparkling jewelry necklace stuff laying on top of the black beans. It looked sharp.
That's
I just kept walking, Terry. I didn't buy anything, but I was impressed.
I think you should have bought something if the beans were
I'm sure you're not alone there.
Really.
There you go. Sherry, what you've demonstrated to us is that your preparations here, not only in your kitchen, in your home, but they're easy to transport if you take the dish to someone's home.
That's absolutely right, Terry. Both of these dishes are, very easy to take. So if you're going to someone's house, as we often are this time of year, and you're asked to bring an appetizer, the spinach dip would be perfect. In fact, I like it served a little bit warm, but you could take it cold and you could certainly just put it in the microwave for a few minutes, stir it up, and it's going to be good to go. With the casserole, the same. You can take it hot. You can wrap that up in some foil and some kitchen towels. It'll still stay warm. Worst case scenario, you pop it in someone's oven or microwave to warm it up when you get there. But both very versatile. And they're going to be enjoyed by everybody, I think, adults and children alike. They really are going to enjoy these recipes. But it just goes to show you too, which I love. I keep trying more and more recipes with Michigan beans because it's what I do, and I'm just always amazed at how versatile they are because they have that mild flavor.
Yeah.
And that wonderful texture. They add texture to dishes. They kind of take on the flavor of whatever they're added to, right? So they're adding that texture. They're versatile with so many dishes. But again, what I love is that they truly are so nutritious. And I want people to remember that as we're still moving through the pandemic, as we're moving into a new year, we want our families to stay healthy. It's been proven over and over again that adding beans to your diet, and I always say at least 3 to 4 times a week, get some beans into your diet. They're going to add that necessary fiber, potassium, all those vitamins and minerals, a great source of plant-based protein. And I have to tell you, last night I just took some white canned beans that were cooked. I actually cooked them over the stovetop. I added some fresh sage that I still have growing on my deck. It hasn't frozen and died yet. Fresh sage, a dash of crushed red pepper, a little salt and pepper to that. And I put that over polenta. You know what polenta is?
Oh, yeah.
Corn, the cornmeal. We just had some polenta. I put those beans over top, just a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese, and that was our dinner. It was delicious.
Everything you've made today and that dish you're talking about right now, really affordable, right?
Oh,
really affordable.
And you know what, Joe, that brings up another thing. As a dietitian, and I hear from consumers all of the time, one of the top things on their mind right now, besides eating healthy, right? Besides knowing that food can really help promote better health, is saying, I have to do it affordably.
Yeah.
That I go to the store now, the cost of food has gone up. I'm trying to eat healthy on a budget. I'm trying to feed my family and stick to my food budget. And beans per serving, it's literally pennies, right? Per serving.
Yeah.
And we're not saying anybody has to totally give up meat or any of those other things. But when you interdisperse meals like I had last night, right? Such a low cost option, such a very low cost option.
Yeah.
But I always say we want to get the most nutrition for our money. And that's what you're getting when you buy Michigan beans, because you're not just, spending less and they're inexpensive, but you're getting back the nutrition from them that you want. So, I mean, it truly is a win-win.
Sure, you can't see the note on the bottom of our screen, I don't think right now, but my friend Bradley Ackerman is reminding me that at his wedding, he and his wife mixed navy beans and small reds instead of Unity sand. So, what a great idea, right? But Brad is a bean guy from day one, so.
Oh, Brad, that's an excellent idea. And I have seen that with the sand before. The beans are perfect. What a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed, not only the price, but I've also noticed that in the grocery stores that I've gone into, there doesn't seem to be a shortage right now of beans on the shelf.
That's good, because there has been ups and downs. Beans are in such demand because of their nutritional value and their affordability, that sometimes there was a little bit of a shortage. But I encourage people, canned beans are great. I fill my pantry with them just because I can grab them like I did last night for dinner. But also I encourage people, if you're concerned, or not concerned, but gosh, I don't know how to cook dry beans, right? A lot of people just say it takes too long. Again, on MichiganBean.com, we have some great tips for traditionally soaking beans, yes, and cooking them. That can take time, but it's super easy. Or if you have an Instant Pot, I have a video on there showing you how to create or cook those beans in an Instant Pot. It's very easy. Within 30 minutes from start to finish, typically you are done. And you can just freeze those cooked beans in batches, and then they're ready to use in your recipes.
That was going to be my next question, Sherry, was freezing beans. Have you had any good luck with that?
Oh, absolutely. We cook them in the Instant Pot. We freeze them. We have a vacuum sealer. So we'll just put portions inside of those, bags. We'll vacuum seal them and then label them. I always make sure I label them so I know what's in there and the date I put them in there. Pull those out and they're recipe ready, whether you're going to use them in soups or stews, or put them on top of salads, in dips like we've talked about. Pureed beans, like we put the pureed beans in this dip. Think about the different ways, you could add pureed beans. You could stir it into pasta to add that protein and to add that fiber to it, with tomatoes and such. There's just so much you can do with them.
Looks great.
What about pizza?
Pizza. Yeah. Okay. I think I've seen some, like taking flatbreads, like making little flatbreads, and you could put your cheese, right? You could put some beans on there. You could do kind of a Mexican pizza if you wanted, with some Mexican cheese blend and some black beans. The sauce could be like a salsa, right? Or you could use some white beans and some kale would be good, and some seasonings like fresh sage we talked about. So many things. That might be a next good blog that we'll have to do.
There you go.
Is how to do pizzas with Michigan beans.
And I think we'll have some flour to make the crust with.
Yes. Oh,
some bean
that
flour.
Would be absolutely great.
Right?
Oh, that'd be a great idea. Great idea. Yeah, you've come up with a lot of recipes that you've showed us over the past several months, Sherry. And again, we want to be sure to mention, and Kayla has put the website information up. A lot of those recipes are right there at MichiganBean.com/recipes. And if you've got any questions at all about those recipes, Sherry, how do we get in contact with you?
You can just contact me through the Michigan Beans Facebook page if you want, or at sherrysteinbaugh.com too. I'm happy to answer questions. And these recipes here, we'll get those up on the website. I know they're not there right now, but Joe will make sure that those get up as soon as possible.
They'll be there shortly.
Yeah, because I think somebody's going to be preparing those here over the next couple of weeks, right, Joe?
I actually, while we were talking, I apologize, but I actually just forwarded them to Kathy so that she could get started. So that I'd be home in about 2 hours. So,
well, I know Sharon is really going to be interested in that spinach dip.
See, me too.
Spinach bean dip, because she
Yeah,
loves that, and I love it, and I think that's a great idea.
Sherry,
Okay,
does
so
it
I
change
don't
the
want to.
texture?
I don't want to tease you guys, but here's the spinach dip.
Yeah, nice.
Oh
I
yeah,
wonder if does the bean inclusion change the texture of that dip from what we're
it's
used to?
delicious.
Oh my God. All right. All right.
Good
I'm heading
stuff.
home.
Good stuff. Sherry, thank you very much. Always great to talk. You and your family have a very happy holidays and a very Merry Christmas, okay?
Same to everybody. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Sherry. Take care. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Sherry.
Bye-bye.
And Joe, thank you very much. Once again, we have been Talking Beans, a presentation of BASF.
It's never just been a field. It's a lab where beakers and vials are corn stalks and bean pods. It's 1,000 dinners on 1,000 plates throughout the world. It's the engine of the American economy. It's our survival. It's never been just a field. It's our future. All of ours. Your field is the future. BASF, we create chemistry.